So for making the whole inheritance, as you know, the exclude, include. Okay. So those are the basic for the inheritance. So I want to include everything, the frequently asked question, user management into one page. So for this one, I will create a new folder index under the folder templates. So maybe there will be some changes here. Okay. There will be some changes because last week I made some mistakes. I have already the folder index here. I already have the folder index. And then let's create the base. Base means something that you want to refer to the framework. For example, I'm going to use the bootstrap. So let's create the base.html. In this case, I already have the base.html. And then let's create 4 additional HTML files. It means the whole web will contain many HTML files. So I will create home, author, info, and time. So inside the index folder, I will create home. Oh, okay, home already exists. I will make author.html. I will make info.html. I will make time.html. So you can prepare the skeleton, or let's say this is the web that you want to show. So those HTML file, you can prepare it in advance. And then after you have those, you can start from the base. So let me update the base that I already gave to you. Let me update the base with this one. So we will discuss more about the base, what is inside the base.html. And then I will have a new HTML, which is time. So in this case, time is just showing the current time. So I will copy this one, and then you have time.html. You can update the code. Okay, so I'm using the base.html, but in this case, I'm using include. So let's see what will be the difference between the exclude and include. So after I have the time.html, I will do the remaining HTML later. Now let's have the views.py, and you can make your views.py in any places. So for now, let me just use the views.py in this file. Let me just remove the home. I will do, I will use this home. So I will copy and paste this one, and I will replace the home that I built last time. So this is the home that I built last week. It will go to index.home.html. Okay, so it will go to home, but this one without any without any file that I want to put here. So let me just replace it with the new one. So in this case, I'm going to use render. The render means I would like to response with this variable into the file, which is time for this one, and then home for this one, and then author for this one. I think last week you already did the changes on the list quest.html. So in the list quest.html, we know that previously it was an HTML file and we do not use any template. We don't use any extension. We don't use any header, or we can say the file, there is no correlation with the navigation. So I am going to use the base as the navigation, and I'm extending this file to the index/base.html. In this case, I'm going to use the base.html in the folder index. So I'm just replacing the header. And you can also replace for the remaining HTML files that you already built. So the remaining HTML file first is list choice. So you can replace with the extend for the list choice. You can replace the list member. You replace the header with this extend, and then you replace the member delete confirm with this extend, and then you replace the member form with this extend. Please do not forget to give end block, because every starting block should have the ending block. Okay. So for the ending block, this one, there should be the starting block. So after you have those HTML, yeah, please remember that you also need to make the URL. Let me just go to the URL as in the user mgmp. Let me update with this one. So the remaining path will be the same, but just add with this new tree path. Here I will replace this one. So it means I have 3 additional paths, which is home, outer, and I'm going to check what is today. So there will be 3 kind of paths. I can make like this one. After I have the URLs, now let me create the remaining HTML file. In this case, I will create the home.html. Yeah, the home.html, last time I put this one, so let's just make it simple. Okay, let's just make it simple with this one. So I'm using the index-base.html as the navigation bar, and then I will just show the welcome message. This is the home.html, and then I have the author.html. The author.html, it will just create the information who are the writer of this web. So I'm just using this one here. And then the last part, I will just do the info.html to show that maybe this is the information about the administrator or maybe who are the developer, usually, you know, in the below part, the most below part of the website, they will have the information about the company or the administrator or the contact of the website provider and etc. So we can put like this one, and then yeah, you can try with the new one. So I have the welcome to my page. All pages are about Django. So if I click about, it will show the time. So this is the current time. And then if I click contact, so it will show who is the author of this website. And then if I click user management, I will have this member list. And then if I click FAQ, it will go to the FAQ that we built last time. So you can check, for example, I want to check the choice. So it will show directly in this website. So the navigation will be still the same for all the website. Okay. If I click the update, for example, I click the update and the footer and the information will be all the same. If I cancel, I can go back to the member list and the navigation will be the same. Okay, so we use the template inheritance to put the navigation, and for every changing in the content, the navigation will be the same. Now let's take a look briefly about the code. So the content here, it is from the base. I guess you know already the base. In the base, we have the header. So the header is about what you are going to explain about this web. At first time, I would like to give the title. So this is the title of the blog or the website. And then you can use this viewport. It means that the width of the website can be flexible according to the device that you use. The remaining 3 links is for the bootstrap. So I'm going to use the bootstrap as the standard for this website. So for now, let me just use very simple bootstrap template, which is the navigation bar in first. So usually the navigation bar in the bootstrap, it will show you all the things on the right section. But if it is inverse, it will show in the left section. And for the navigation bar, I would like to use home. So this home is the first part. Home is the biggest one, or this is the header. And then the remaining one, the remaining will be about contact, user management, and FAQ. So the about, it will connect to the URL today is. What this today is? If you click this one, it will go to the name today is, which is referring to the function today is. So this function today is to show the current time. The current time is datetime.now, and it will show in the time.html. So the time.html, it is here, and let's see. So what is the difference between include and exclude? Here I use include. So if I go to the page, about will be using include. So I will go to about. So this is include. So what is the difference between include and extend? This is include. This is extend. This is include. This is extend. Can you see the difference? For the time, I am using include. For the, let's say, outer, I am using extend. Can you see the difference? For the time, I am using include. If I use include, it means I don't need to clarify the block. So if I use include, there will be no block here. And I'm just using the code in this section to show something. And it will show after the website or after the page. As you can see, where is this is footer? This is footer is located in the page.html. This is footer. It is on the page.html. And at the block footer, it will show the index.info.html. So what is info.html? Info.html is just showing all pages are about Django. So this one is all pages are about Django. So if we use include, it will be below of the site. If we use extend, it means we will put it in the block location. So in this case, if I use home.html, the welcome message will be in the middle of the page, or it will be in the block content. So what is the block content? The block content will be here. So the block content will be after the navigation bar and before the footer, before the HR. What is HR? What is HR? It is the horizontal rule or this horizontal line. So everything before the line, it will be in the block content. That's why when you see this one, so before the line, it will be the content. If you click this one, before the line, it will be the content. But if you click about, after the line, it will be the content. Okay. So that's the meaning by include and extend. So when you do the extend, you need to put everything in the block. It depends which block is it. because all of them are using the block content, then the content will be in the middle of the base. For the include, it will be including the page, but the content will be at the end. Okay. Any problem with this example? Any errors? Any errors? Check. So last time, I think you already know how to make the table. Use the JavaScript, and using the JavaScript, you can search anything in the table. So actually, you can make your own search function. So your own search function, it will be based on the JavaScript. And yeah, you can make based on the JavaScript if it was the previous one, but we can make the simple filtering using Python. So for the basic filters, we can use the query SQL. You already learned about the SQL, so we can make it with the query. And yeah, we can use a kind of form to deal with this kind of query. So the form should include any input that we want to use for the user to filter the data. So we are going to use get method in order to show how the searching works well. Maybe I will just finish until this part. So I will make a function search basic in the fuse.py. I will make the search basic in the fuse.py. So in this case, whenever I search, whenever I want to find something, so there will be a request, and then the request will get the query. And whatever the query is, I'm going to filter it on the database. So this one is filter, you already know in the SQL. And I want to filter, this is based on the first name. And you already know how to do with the SQL. For example, with the underbar, I content. So I want to know every name that contain with the word that someone inserted in the query queue. So the query queue is from the HTML file. I will make a function, I will make a link in the urls.py. I will make a link in this urls.py, and then I will make an update to the list members.html. So I will just update with the red color. If you have this red color, you can just copy this part and then update it with the list members.html. So you can put it into the section after the div class. Okay. Now let's see. now we can run this one with this query. So there will be a form here, and then let me say I will find AA, and when I click this one, then it will show the AA. If I want to search E, so every first name that contains E will appear. Let's say if I want to press B, okay, nothing, because I only have the first name contain A, and E, and this is based on the first name attribute. So you can do with many other things, and this is based on the form. If you still remember, on the first part, we learned how to create this form, and the action here, it means I would like to access this link. What is this link? This link refer to this link. And then I have a text which is Q. Okay, what this is Q? This is a text that the user input. And this Q will go to the queue in the search basic. So whatever you input, it will go to the backend, and then it will make a new variable which is Q, and this Q will be something that you are going to check on the person. So that's why we need to make a definition of the Q here. And then if we already submit it, okay, submit means we want to send this information to the backend. Okay, so that's the simple function for searching. Okay, I guess I need to stop due to the time.